Hello there, welcome back to the Ogre, the old Git Reacts, Reviews and Off Times Reminiscences. Today we're doing Nel Buio on the basis of, now then, I sort of plough a fairly narrow field of music, usually centred around black metal, but I do try my very best to find you interesting takes, which may mean sort of a cross-fertilisation of genres, and some of those never come to your ears because we search, and a concept might sound interesting on paper, but when you listen to it, you're left a bit nonplussed, and it doesn't work for you. Probably works for many other people, but for me, it may not work. So, black wave. I'm not sure if I've heard that expression before, and I wouldn't be able to tell you what it was if you said you listened to it. So I clicked on this album to have a little listen to what it was like, and I was left intrigued. And I suppose let's listen to it, and I'll say why as we go along. So here we go. So it says in the blurb that this is an amalgam of black metal and dark wave. Now, I think I know what dark wave is, but I don't, and I can't be asked to go and look it up properly. But from the sort of things you're exposed to over time when you listen to any forms of music, you might get a sense of it, and so I do have a sense of what it probably is, and I'm pretty sure actually. I must have listened to some dark wave sounding stuff in the past, more by accident than design, but I do. So I suppose get to the point, Mac. The point is those sort of the synthesizer part of this music, I presume, is the dark wave influence. And I could be totally wrong, but I think I'm right. I'm sure somebody if somebody listening finds themselves totally at odds with what I'm trying to say, then stick it on a comment and put me right. But when I sort of went into this list trying to see whether it intrigued, well, it did intrigue me. I said it intrigued me, whether I liked it or not. It always helps when you start off with some gusto and a bit of pace. So that you're already in a happy place when the emphasis changes a bit to where it is now. Still underpinned by a rapid kick drum, but we're getting into more interesting territory now by sounds of it. I've listened to this album twice before, maybe, before I decided to do a review or reaction, if you want to call it a reaction. So one thing I picked up when, and again I might be way off the mark, but when I've seen or heard, not seen to be honest, anything to do with dark wavy sort of things, it always seems to be in the context of people who take considerable interest in their appearance, happily dancing away to something. So if you're going to incorporate dark wave into a black metal sound, some of it, I presume, needs to be a little bit danceable, and I think we're there now, aren't we? So the more I hear of this, the more familiar, or the more I'm convinced I have heard dark wavy type stuff, if not pure, at least mixed in with other stuff. When I hear these synthesizer or keyboard influences, yeah. But anyway, so far so good. When I listen to music, I've said this before, I tend to listen to it as an accompaniment to other things. It's only sort of maybe if I go to bed to listen to music, I pay any particular attention to it, and even then, nowadays, I'm normally asleep by the third track, if that. So when I do these reviews, I do pay closer attention to what it is I'm actually listening to, because it is the whole that tends to grab me. And so, sort of, I won't say analysing, that's too grand a term for this, but listening properly to a track, obviously reveals more of its content and the emphasis is therein. And I was umming and ahhing. I've only listened 2 or 3 times to this, but to buy it. And I think I'm convinced now by this listening that I will. There was no track on the album that didn't interest me, but interest is not enough. It has to be, has to move you in some way, and I am moved. Definitely at the moment, there's a bit of a blast going on, and the melodies here are insistent, and it is a sort of serious sounding song, but you know, it is framed by light, and it is working and engaging me. So there's lots of things in here that I'm liking, to be honest. I'm not going to bore you by listing them all, but the drums, for example, they're fairly insistent throughout, and they do get a bit of a poke on at times, and the melodies, particularly now, certainly are getting the hooks in. So yes, more money not down the drain, but more money out of my wallet into somebody else's, by the looks of it. So there you go. I say, the first time I've listened to that track properly, if you will, with an earful that's going off, and yes, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. We have to have, spices. What am I saying? Variety is the spice of life, and much as I love an absolute blast from start to finish, and noisier the better. You have to have. You don't have to, but I need to have. How do I need to? Yes, I do. I need to have a bit of variety in what I listen to, even if it's a fairly narrow spectrum. But yes, I noticed that although the lead guitar is scrawled in a way which was very not metal. It was more post-punky in a way than anything else. And that worked as a nice counterplay to everything else. So yeah, yes, money's coming your way. Nel Buio or Avant-Garde, I think, is their label. I'm sure they both get a bit of it. They can go on holiday. They can go on a piss up now with my contribution that is incoming. Anyway, clicky bollocks. Catch you all next time. Cheerio.